Hey everyone, if I were to ask you, what's the best time to approach someone if you want something from them? Whether a little child to a parent wants to ask them for something, or in a business relationship, you're trying to close a deal, or with a husband or a wife and so on, the best time to approach them, would that be when you had a disagreement, you did something that you shouldn't have done? Or should it be at a time when everything went well? You did something good, you had a nice interaction and so on. That's the best time to ask, and that's when they're going to be most receptive. Obviously, we'd say the latter. Do it when they're in a good mood. We see a fascinating concept in this week's Torah portion, where the Torah tells us that if someone were to steal an item, they have to now pay back double that amount as a kanas, as a punishment for doing that. Also, if someone were to steal a sheep or a cow, now they're going to be punished. For a cow, they have to pay back 5 times the value of the cow, and the sheep, they have to pay back 4 times the value of the cow. And the question is asked, what's the difference between a cow and a sheep that one of them is 5 times the value, one's 4 times the value? And it says the reason is because when a person takes a cow and they steal a cow, they lead the cow by a rope, wherever it is that they're holding. But they don't have to actually do more than that. However, by a sheep, they have to actually put the sheep on their shoulders. That's how a thief, I guess, typically would steal the sheep. And they would walk away. And the Torah tells us, the rabbis tell us, is that because it's embarrassing for the thief to have to carry this animal on their shoulders as opposed to walking, God factors that in as a little bit, that embarrassment is a bit of their punishment, and therefore only have to pay 4 times the value as opposed to 5 times the value of a cow. You ask yourself a question. We're talking about a thief. The thief, first of all, he probably didn't even register on his mind that I'm embarrassed when I'm doing this. I'm obviously willing to steal. That's a lesson in and of itself. The fact that it does register on them, that it's embarrassing, and God takes that into account. But also, maybe God should say at that moment, listen, you're a thief. You should be punished. I don't care that you were embarrassed when that happened. Good. You should have been embarrassed. God says, no, I'm factoring that in. The lesson I kind of extrapolate from here, I think is very important, is that we think at that moment, God is not taking us into account at all about our personal feelings. If anything, I don't have a relationship with you. You steal, boom, zapped. That's how we view God sometimes. When I'm doing good, when I'm a good Jew, when I'm doing the right thing, it's a good time to ask God for things because He probably wants to give me. He probably wants to help me. But mainly, He probably wants to even talk to me. He wants to have a relationship with me. When I'm doing something that's inappropriate, fine, I'm not stealing. Okay, but does God really want to talk to me when I'm not doing my utmost, when I'm doing things that are inappropriate, when I could be doing better? You know what? I'll approach Hashem and talk to Him about things when I'm doing more what He wants to hear from me. Otherwise, He probably doesn't want to hear from me. And the reality is that, of course, Hashem is happy when we do the right thing. But His wanting us to be close to Him is not at all related to our actions. Hashem wants us to be close to Him when we're at our lowest, when we're doing things that are not appropriate. Hashem doesn't want us to distance ourselves from Him because of that. If anything, the opposite. Hashem says, come back to me. Talk to me. When you're at the hardest time and you're doing things you're inappropriate, of course I want you to change. But never think that I don't care about you. I love a thief even at the time of his thieving, of his thievery. Of you're not doing so bad. Come back to me. Talk to me. Hashem wants us to be there. It's not like a parent who doesn't want to hear from their child asking for requests after they broke something. Oh, can I get a new present? What? You just broke something. That's not God. God says, I'm your parent. The highest level of love, that it's non-judgmental, and I want to be there for you all the time. Come to me at every single moment. Don't think your actions should be an impediment for you to reach out to me all the time. Shabbat Shalom.